Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your kind words. And thank you for the energy and the presentation that you gave. As we travel around the world leading the flag of India high, Mr. Damberg, we are seeing a renewed enthusiasm. It's not only in your country, in Sweden, but it's in large European countries like Germany, France, and UK. The United States of India is giving special recognition, its due recognition after a long time to India. Japan is a friendly nation, investing, believing, betting on India. So around the world, 24 months ago, as many of you know, there was a change. There was a change brought in by new leadership and a leadership which had tremendous experience of success in the state of Gujarat. I'm talking of our current Prime Minister, who led as the Chief Minister of Gujarat for over 12 plus years. And the history tells us of how systematically, through transparent policies, through decrease in corruption, through inclusive growth, and recognizing that India, what it is, one of the largest democracy of India, of the world, with people in all strata of economic situation, from people with very low means to people very, very affluent, but encouraging a very inclusive, participative growth, which made all citizens of Gujarat very proud to be citizens of Gujarat. That whole experience of 12 plus years, a proven track record, is now embarked and is being launched in India. As many of us know who have been living in India for some time, the last 24 months have been transformational. The legacy of the last 60 plus years is beginning to change. The amount of new policies to increase ease of doing business in our country, decrease of regulatory mechanisms which have been inherited from the British and then grown over the last 60 plus years, dismantling those long weary mechanisms of decision making, have now been slowly and gradually in systematic, transformational fashion, visionary fashion, brought about change. So India's development journey has reached a marked stage of resurgence. The 2+ trillion economy with a rising disposable income, India represents a bright spot in the global economy. It's not only the recognition of the leadership, but it's a recognition of the huge potential market. A market which is now, as you all see, with Europe in single-digit growths, 1 or 2% growth as forecasted by IMF, with America also in the single-digit 1 or 2% growths forecasted by the world authorities. There is one, and the mishaps happening in Brazil, Russia, and to some extent in China, have given the world the single destination, the largest democracy, a democracy which has proven over 60 plus years is now the rising star, the shining star of the world. So around the world, when we travel as business people or leading the delegations or participating in delegations, we are seeing a renewed energy of support for India. And I think I can't echo the words of Ambassador Her Excellency, or what she has said of the sentiment of some of your leading business people, that India is the destination, not only as a place to sell your products, but a place to manufacture your products, a place to develop your products, a place to innovate your products, to in fact include India as part of the supply chain of global companies. There have been various examples. There have been various campaigns which have been launched and unfolded over the last 2 years. And I think I'm going to give an example of just a few of them. These are campaigns, as Minister Damberg would bear with me, a way of communicating, the most efficient way of communicating, not to 8 or 9 million people, but to 1.3 billion people, is to have simple, short statements which make the whole population, whether literate or illiterate, young or old, poor or rich, to understand how the country is moving forward, and that bringing that vitality and vibrance in these 1.2 billion people. So wonderful, wonderful campaigns like the Make in India campaign, where we just heard that your Prime Minister came, gave various speeches across the city of Mumbai, talked wonderful things about the partnership, and we could really feel from his experience. And I think in one of his speeches, if I recollect, he went back to his explaining his role as a CEO of some previous company, and saying that he was so energized seeing what was happening in our country. And so Make in India is such an enormous campaign. It is just not about making products in India. It is about including India in whatever way in the supply chain of the world, where now India happens to be one of the largest markets of 1.3 billion people, with a per capita income which is so low. Then even if it is, you can just imagine, even if we multiply our per capita income 10 times, we will still be lower than the per capita income of Sweden. So just imagine the potential of what this huge market can absorb. The concept about smart cities, as my colleague in the audience who heads the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, I don't see him, but would tell you at some stage, a huge initiative conceptualized 15 plus years ago, with the support of all the governments, but also with the keen partnership with the government from Japan, has created such an opportunity of building new cities for the migrating population of our country. We can learn a lot from your experiences in your country, and the best way would be to partner with our country. The Jan Dhan Yojana, such a significant step made, and I'm just relating just a few of these major campaigns, just to tell you the transformation which is happening in our country. The Jan Dhan Yojana, which was this one-stop shop of creating more than 10 million bank accounts. Can you imagine, Minister Dam? There is such a large population of our country which don't even have a bank account. And in this one single campaign, more than 10 million bank accounts were created, so that there is, of course, as you can imagine, decrease in all the pilferages which happen when governments try to help citizens grow up. This whole initiative of Swachh Bharat, of Clean India, such a profound, walking around in Stockholm, in some of the areas, you feel there are clean areas. But as you go around in different parts of India, there are areas which are not so clean. And so just this whole initiative in the mindset that keep your neighborhood clean, that will improve health, hygiene, and of course make more smarter brains. The initiative of Clean Digital India, the initiative of clean energy, the initiative we talked about in the morning tremendously about Skill India, a very visionary initiative just to make sure that each individual, and just imagine the power, only 5% of Indian population is skilled compared to 95% in Korea. Just imagine the momentum, the change of pace, the growth in the economy, the increase in appetite for goods and services, which would happen with this profound visionary Skill India statement. The Startup India, the Startup India initiative of encouraging the youth of India to go out, and if they don't get a job, go out and start their own businesses. So I think what I have just tried to say in this speech is this is a wonderful time in the history of our country. Many of us who are closely associated with what's happening in the country are aware of the profound changes which have actually started happening, the tremendous policy changes, initiatives which are happening. But most importantly, is the whole change of mindset that we as Indians can be one of the greatest powers of the world over the next 10, 20 years. Just imagine when the economy of the size of India will become 10 to 20, 30, 40 times. You do the math, India will be there. So we welcome you all. This is a wonderful time. And what better occasion when the Prime Ministers, the heads of state, now have a personal rapport. And as you know, as you're smiling, you know what's going on. I think this is just a wonderful relationship that we have. India is 1.4 billion. You are, 1% of India's population. There's a tremendous interest. I, from my personal capacity, running the life sciences business at Kerala and having done some work here in your country with Karolinska, with pharmaceutical companies, have realized that when you start working closely with the Swedish, the culture of Indians and the culture of Sweden is very, very similar. So I think it's a natural partnership. I am so happy to be here. I know this initiative is going to go a long ways, and this will be historic. So thank you again, Ambassador. Thank you, gentlemen.